payment variously described as allowances, salaries with market premium, totaling 118,461 were made to Godfred Ahianon. The Auditor General said they did not see any terms of reference for the committee and names of the other members of the committee. Neither did they see evidence of actual work done, recommending that the monies be recovered. But earlier, the Public Accounts Committee raised questions about the inability of the Ministry of Health to allow various individuals who made infractions to personally give explanations. James Kluche-Avejim is the chairman of the committee.
The committee have to recommend actions or what needs to be done to the entire House for approval. Now, if there is an infraction that involves probably prosecuting an officer, the Public Accounts Committee cannot go straight forward and prosecute the person. The committee will have to recommend to the House that Mr. A or Mr. B need to be prosecuted.
So for the period 2016, the Auditor General has uncovered over 2 billion cedis financial infractions committed by various individuals within the ministries, departments and its agencies within government. For them, this is unacceptable. However, the Parliament Public Accounts Committee will be sitting for the next 10 days to ask specific questions to individuals and also the ministries, the specific roles they played in these infractions that have caused the state to lose such an amount of money. For them, it is unpacking those infractions. Kamala Kluche, TV3 News, Parliament, Accra.
The Vice President has called on officers at the ports to stop physical inspection of containers to reduce the turnaround time. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was saddened physical inspection has generated less than 5% of revenue and has also affected Ghana's ease of doing business. He was speaking at a forum in Accra to discuss improving Ghana's 2019 ranking in doing business across the African continent and the globe.
In the World Bank Ease of Doing Business, Ghana was ranked 114 among 120 African countries. The World Bank focused on factors such as automation process, startup business, and paying taxes. To further improve on the rankings, the Office of the Vice President assembled key agencies to discuss the rankings. Agencies such as the Ghana Revenue Authority, Registrar General's Department, and the Ghana Export Promotion Authority were part of the discussions. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was not pleased about custom officers at the port who have failed to install scanners to inspect containers.
How much revenue does it really add to us? I mean, following your physical examination, if you followed clearance by what the documentation said vis-a-vis your additional physical examination, what additional revenue did it bring? I was a bit shocked when I found out that the additional revenue was 0.38%. 0.38%. It doesn't make sense for all that hassle. So we want to be able to go back to following what the risk engine says and to significantly reduce the physical examination of containers using our risk engine, using our scanners and so on. That is what we want to do.
Commissioner in charge of Customs, Isaac Crenshaw, responding to the Vice President, said national security officers at the port have created the problem.
There are some indirect people around. We talk about the national security and then other security agencies. The problem is that they always try to create the impression that unauthorized goods are coming out of the port, keep panic in the system. To tell them, for them to appreciate that, look, it's not necessary to do examination that will get revenue, but it's necessary that a senior minister said that, and when you facilitate the business, a lot of people will go and bring in more containers, and then we get the revenue.
In another development, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has said government will roll out new automated initiatives in the coming months.
The TIN application, the SNIT application form, the business operating permit application, and the business registration forms. These are all going to be merged into one form. So when you come in to register a business, rather than filling 4 different forms, you will have one form which will be electronically available.
Senior Minister Yawasanfu Mafo was confident the new initiatives would impact positively on the operations in the private sector.
More business. The International Finance Corporation, IFC, has earmarked $4.5 billion to support government in improving businesses in the private sector. The IFC, a body of the World Bank, says $700 million out of an amount will be channeled in the ongoing port expansion in Tema. Country manager of the IFC, Ronke Amoni, was speaking at a forum on the need to ease doing business in Accra, Ghana.
The International Finance Corporation IFC country manager lauded government for rolling out initiatives to automate business processes in Ghana. She emphasized on the need to increase the investment to more than $4 billion to support businesses in the private sector.
Basically to validate those results, we need to have the private sector say, no, yes, they felt the results, and communication is key. So I think the next step after this is excellent initiative, but we just need to now get that word out.
Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia was pleased with the support from the IFC and directed the Ghana Revenue Authority to initiate a mobile application where individual customers can file their taxes.
We've seen from the tax side the automation that is taking place. I see from their timeline that this year, for come April, at least individuals should be able to file their taxes electronically. That is a major move. It's because we only have about 2 million taxpayers in Ghana. But one of the problems is people just have a hard time trying to file their taxes. But if you can sit at home and file, you can make it happen.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Asabia Asare, was optimistic about increasing revenue generation to more than 5 billion cedis by next year.
Payments can be done electronically. So you don't have to be in our offices to do all of these things anymore. My signature is already electronically in there. So now even people in the regions can sit in the comfort of their homes and apply online.
Cassava processors in the Ashanti region are complaining of scarcity of the commodity, leading to an increase in price. Producers of traditional Ghanaian snack known as banchi akakro, enakan and adbelikaklo and ever have been particularly hit by the shortage in supply of cassava. Here's a report by Benjamin Edu.
The Banchi Akakro business value chain generates employment for hundreds of people. The snack is common in most parts of the country. At Kwamo in the Jusu municipality, scores of women are engaged in processing the snack prepared with cassava and salt, garnished with onion and fried in small bowls. Aside those who fry in bulk, other women from neighboring districts earn their income from hawking the food. But production of Akakro is low due to shortages of cassava in the Ashanti region. Some of the vibrant processing sheds here are virtually empty. Cost of production has shot up as the processors buy cassava at expensive prices. The retail price of a box of the snack has increased from 15 to 20 cedis. This is a source of worry to both processors and retailers.
We don't get cassava for our business. You would have seen many people here. We appeal to authorities to come to our aid.
They give the product to us at 120 cedis. My profit is 5 cedis. The more I sell, the more I make.
The Ministry of Food and Agriculture attributes the short supply of cassava to the delayed rains. Ashanti Regional Director of Agriculture, Reverend John Menu, however, says there is no cause for alarm.
There are adequate cassava in the farms, but because of the Harmattan season, the ground was very dry and hard, And farmers were finding it difficult to uproot the cassava to the farm. And if they contract, the charge on uprooting has been very high. That's the reason why most farmers were reluctant to have.
Away from that story, Minister of Information Kojo Oppong has charged the media to be honest, admit and correct wrongs when they commit in their discharge of their duties. Now, according to him, it is not the intention of government to lord over the media, adding the media should not also mislead the public. He was speaking at the inauguration of a refurbished press center for the ministry.
The rehabilitation and refurbishment of the Ministry of Information conference room is part of government's plan to improve the working condition of journalists. Minister of Information Kojo Oppong observed that there is the need for a respectable relationship between the media and the government.
There's an important relationship between government actors and the media in a democracy such as ours. It is and it ought to be a mutually respectable relationship which allows us to provide the media regularly with information and to respond to matters of interest to the media in good time. Ours is not to lord our place over the media or to seek to control the media. Neither is it expected that the media will use its privilege to misinform, to attack, or to pursue parochial interest. Indeed, what it ought to be is a relationship of working together in pursuance of a common agenda, and that agenda being building a nation great and strong.
The Chief of Staff, Okwisa Fremont Seopare, who inaugurated the conference room, charged the Information Ministry to revive the seminar vans of the Information Service Department to bring governance to the doorsteps of the people.
We are looking forward to actually this ISD transformation that in our time they used to ginger communities, very remote communities. You have a cinema van playing songs around, and then in the evening you sit around and you see development projects, the Akosombo Dam, cocoa exports, all sorts of interesting things that brought governance closer to the people.
President Akufo-Addo in 2017 separated the Information Ministry from the Communications Ministry.
To other stories, Ghana's power company is contemplating replacing teak poles with steel tabular poles to reduce the harm of bush burning of electric poles. Now, the rampant destruction of teak poles through the activities of bush burning for farming and gaming has necessitated the decision. Here's a report by Beatrice Spiogabra.
Burnt electric poles abound in parts of the Ashanti region. Notable areas include Adwato in the Kumasi metropolis, Fuase and Tredie in the Achima Kwahuma district. Here, not less than 10 of the electricity poles have been burnt at the base of the entire pole. Some of the electric poles are also hanging loose on their foundation, posing threat to road users and passers-by. Residents of Fuase who suffer intermittent power cuts have asked for immediate replacement of the tilted poles.
In Ghana, whenever something happens, that is when we take proactive measures. It's a high-tension pole, and when there is fire outbreak, it can create a problem. We also have our church, and children also play around. We are pleading with government to come and fix it for us, because the way it is now, it can break in the night and will cause problem for us.
One teak pole cost about 1,200 cedi. Public Relations Manager of the Power Distribution Services Ghana, Erasmus Bedu, says battling bush burning, especially in forest areas, drains the company's revenue.
It happens like this. It affects our supply, our delivery of power. And our customers, some may not even be aware. All that they know is that the power is off. And then they will be calling electricity, when is our power coming, when are you restoring supply, and so on and so forth. So when we get the issues like this, quickly we send our maintenance team to go around, assess the nature of damage, the number of poles that have gotten bent.
Rasmus Chre-Bedu disclosed the company has initiated plans to change teak poles in the forest zones to steel tubular ones which can withstand bush burning. He has also assured that all the tilted poles will be replaced.
Let's focus on international news now. Investigators have found the flight data recorders from an Ethiopian airline plane that crashed on Sunday. The devices recovered at the crash site were Boeing 737 MAX 8's cockpit voice recorder and a digital flight data recorder. The plane was en route from Addis Ababa to the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, when it crashed 6 minutes after takeoff, killing all 157 people on board. Citizens of 35 countries were among the 157 people killed, including 32 Kenyans, 18 Canadians, 9 Ethiopians, and 8 passengers, each from China, Italy, and United States. Several airlines have meanwhile grounded the Boeing model following the disaster. And that'll be all from me this morning. I am Wendy Lai. Enjoy the rest of the show. Newday continues.
Good morning. The pastor is ready to add something to the
No, I'm not adding anything. But sometimes you tend to question God why certain things happen.
Certainly. If you don't do that, you're not human enough.
I mean, for instance, why would 157 people just perish like that?
Yeah.
Okay, if God is there, why did it happen? But then you turn around and say that, okay, he knows what is best.
Exactly.
He knows why it happened. He knows the reason why even certain people, you know that aircraft could carry 210 passengers.
Right.
We're told that some people actually couldn't make it. They failed to get onto it. So you sit down quietly and then in the end you say that it is well. He's the author and he's a writer, and so he has decided to do it that way.
So that's interesting. I was thinking, so we can only trust God and not man, but man was created in the image of God.
But man has his own selfish desires. A man allows, the natural realms to take some part of us, and that's why God will say trust him, because he's perfect. But with man, we still have our imperfections. The Adamic nature still, exists, and that's where he will. If we all became like God, then the world would be beautiful. We probably wouldn't even need earth. We'll just have to transition to heaven straight away, because what will we be doing here? And so I guess all those things.
We'll be praying at the Achimota forest that has become dirty now.
Very dirty.
Dirty Christians turn Achimota forest into garbage dump.
It's our
dirty Christians. Good morning to all the dirty Christians who go to see God and yet find it worthy to litter the Achimota forest.
But
dirty
this happens everywhere you see Ghanaians congregate. It's not for me specifically at the Achimota forest, because even when we have, independence meetings at the square, you see the mess. When political parties hold their campaigns, whatever, you go there. So it's our nature, it's our culture. That so for us, we are more than two. We will.
Well, but if you're going to the Achimota Mall to say we are praying for Ghana to become better.
You mean the forest?
Yes, the forest. I beg your pardon. You're praying for Ghana to become better, and you go and you litter, and you're ruining the reserve, the forest reserve,
the environment.
Then what are you praying for?
That's why our Christianity doesn't translate, and that's why people ask when we talk about being religious. Do we really understand it? Because some of these basic things are in our religion. There are things that our gods, my God would esteem, that you be clean. You be without fault. People wouldn't get anything to talk about. Why would you want to litter a place that is your natural environment, create diseases for another person? The person gets sick, has to go to the hospital, uses money. It's a ripple effect. If you were really being religious, or you were, you understand the tenets of the religion you follow, these things will not happen. And that's why I think that we only use our lips to glorify God, but deep down we don't live it.
But can we dig the problem? Okay. So what we see on the finder this morning isn't a case of littering. I want to call it that way. The garbage is collected, it's a dump.
Right.
Now, these persons who are entering to go and pray, they are charged. Now, those who are taking the money, whoever allow them in, are there bins in which they're supposed to drop the letter?
Right. That's a good question to ask.
Now, so, you see, what you see, the picture you see on the finder is a heap, so that the people have come to notice that that is where they can drop their letter. So they go and drop it there. Does it mean that whoever is taking the money is not collecting the refuse?
Well, that's one side of the equation.
Right.
The other side of the equation is that I've gone to places where you won't find rubbish bins. So my mother will tell you, if you drink pure water, put it in your bag or put it in your pocket until you get home and drop it. Even the tiny weeny plastic, you know, that's on the cap, you keep it because that's also plastic. And I must say that churches are springing up everywhere. Same as mosques, same as ashrams. And like Amma said, it's not translating into anything. It's not.
It is true. So, but you see, we must dig deeper than
solely
putting the blame on those who go there to pray.
If you go
because if I
for the goodness or wellness of Ghana, and this is how you want to live there, whether you paid gate fee or not. And you see, that's the mentality that, we will later because we've paid. So Zoom, Lion, J Stanley, whichever it is.
I want to draw a line between littering and then dumping. What the picture I'm seeing is one of people dumping the refuse. That spot has become a place where they put their refuse. I buy wachi, and after from the leaf, and after eating it, Johnny, it would be difficult to put it in my bag till about 5 p.m. when I leave the place. So I have noticed a particular spot where a pile of refuse gathers there, and so I drop mine there. I'm expecting that whoever is managing this place must collect this.
Well, but the person
I am not leaving those who are dropping them out, but I'm saying that whoever is managing this, what I see, I'm basing my argument on what I'm seeing.
Good. And I'm also saying that, look, you are a Christian or you are Muslim, you are a Hindu, whatever it is that you are. Your religious tenets, like Amma said, says you must live in a certain way. You pay to enter a certain place to pray. You've seen this heap and you're contributing your heap every time. And you come back every day and the heap is not moving. You should be able to ask questions. That's where my hashtag says, speak up, because you are contributing to it. Ideally, once you put the pile there, somebody should clear it so that the next day it will be at least cleared so you can. So
let's question the managers.
Yes, but you also
did they question? Did they question? Like you're saying, it takes two things to make it work. We've got the managers, all right, but we've got the individuals as well. For how long will we be picking rubbish after people? Because, this is not only here. It happens when you go to lorry parks. That's the part that even distresses me. People are sitting in trotros. And I would have thought that if the trotro is clean at the end of the day, then it only makes sense to empty something in the trotro that you're sitting in. But you see people just throwing it out. Why is it so? Because they feel that someone will come and clean that place. But in the trotro, the lorry stations, we've seen bins, designated bins that are supposed to allow you to, empty your rubbish. But just because we think it's become a norm of, drop it, there is someone who will come and clean that place. And so it's okay. We just don't have that culture of keeping rubbish to put it at the designated places. And that's just for me. Because I was trained as a child to keep rubbish with me. Even though you're saying the watcher leaves, yes, it will smell. But my conscience, until I see a place that is designated, I cannot throw it away.
Wait. Is this same mentality and ideology? That's how come we got refuse or bola in front of the Jubilee House. It is the same thing, because somebody who was sweeping there thought that, well, let me gather it a bit. Somebody was passing around, saw the heap and decided to contribute to it, and they kept contributing to it until
you see, Johnny, the point you made is that someone was passing by and saw the heap and decided to add his or hers.
Right.
But if the managers were clearing it.
Yes, if there was no heap there, that person would have perhaps taken. But I'm saying that, don't forget that it is not everyone who goes to the Chimota forest who carries a bag. Now, I am not leaving those who are dropping this, but I'm saying that somebody's responsibility is to clear this. Look,
so if the person is not clearing, if the person is not clearing, you who are paying for him to clear, tell him that you might clear.
Yes, I speak, but I'm saying that we are talking about this. There is nothing to guarantee that tomorrorow morning we'll find this, or even before noon we'll find this.
They'll clear it.
Okay?
They'll clear it.
But I'm saying that somebody's responsibility is to clear this, and we have to insist on that. I'm not leaving out the fact that we need to keep later when we have it and put this, but I'm saying that it is not everyone who goes to the Achimota Forest who carries a bag. Someone goes there with nothing, just the 10 fingers, buys a sachet water, finishes. Look, the person simply can't keep 5 sachet bags in his or her pocket. So there's a heap that he goes to drop. Somebody's job is to clear it.
I agree, and I'm saying that okay. So moving forward,
we're charging them.
So moving forward,
the attendants speaking at the Forest Reserve says they come here to pray every day, and we are aware of the activity. A truck comes for the rubbish every time, but we burn the rubbish if it doesn't come. So it is not a problem. And then he declined to comment on how much the prayer groups are charged. Then someone says, the member of the prayer group says, that is where we throw the rubbish every time we come here to pray. We get hungry, we feel like drinking water, so we buy from the gate before we go and pray. When we are done, this is where we throw them. They will come from
polluter pay policy. But you see,
this is where we throw it, and so it's okay.
I even get disheartened when the manager of a forest reserve, supposed to be conserving our ecosystem, says that we burn the rubbish So what training did he get? Again, you can't pass the training. What training did he get? He is supposed to be conserving our ecosystem.
We'll go there,
and he ruins it.
We'll go there after the show and get them to
you see, moving forward, this is what the Forestry Commission, I think, should do. And good morning to you, Sir John. Provide bins. Once you have allowed. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Once you have allowed people to get into those spaces, provide bins for them, so you are able to at least police. Because you are not sure if everybody who comes into the Achimota Forest will come and join this hip.
No.
Some people may get thicker into the forest and may decide to throw their plastic away. That's 400 years long before it actually and you can imagine what it does to the soil and everything else.
For those of Ghanaians who don't know, the Accra Zoo has moved there.
It's been there. It's been there.
The zoos that
you should visit it.
I hear the lions have been eating Gary Photo.
Very soon they'll be eating
garbage. So this morning we'll go through the usual packed lineup. Daily Rant is talking about the Vice President introducing, is it a new word? Joblantism.
Yeah.
It's a new term.
I was thinking that the Vice President would have told us that, yes, don't let them use you for vigilantism. But the jobs we promised you, 1 district, 1 factory, 1 village, 1 dam, 1 million, 1 constituency, it is coming at this point. And that the CD will get better because the Vice President is also the chairman of the Economic Management Committee.
Have you seen fuel?
And he is also...
Have you seen fuel?
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, you don't want to talk about
but
it. And the Vice President...
And everybody's
about the problem, this problem of vigilantism has 2 angles. The unemployment angle and the control of our securities systems, which starts with the police. Now, I was expecting the Vice President, beyond telling us this, to tell us that the jobs will come, the city will get stronger, and also as chairman of the Police Council, he is going to put a proposal together to Parliament to change that order, because he is the chairman of the Police Council. I didn't get that. So I see this as mere rhetoric. In any case, who says it is only children of poor people who are used to do vigilantism?
No, it's not.
The people who fund it are rich people.
Yes, no.
The people who fund it are those who have an interest in political party, agenda in this country, both NDC and NPP. The people who fund it use it for business. So, Mr. Vice President, good morning to you. We have heard your sermon, but it's not time for offering yet. Please come again.
I will also talk about aviation safety, because in the light of the things that have happened, the Ethiopian airline that crashed and killed 157 people, we'll find out, is it safe? I mean, it's scary, and I'm sure people will have to, use this means of transport all the time.
Maybe we should start. We should walking to.
Or we use.
You can only walk in, like within your country. But if you want to go international,
you can walk to Nigeria. Why not?
Over how many days? Over how many days?
Yeah, you just want to be safe.
Or we use African electrophysics. Everybody buys
you'd be surprised even in walking, you can die. Why are you making it seem like you're safe when you walk?
Or you buy brooms. Everybody buys a long broom. You take it to Antoine and then...
Broom traffic.
You see, it's a real huge problem for me. I mean, trying to think about it. Now, which one is safer? Transport, road transport, sea transport, air transport? How do we go?
Overall, and if we're being honest, for me, I think aviation is safest. But the thing is, when the casualties happen, they happen in large numbers because obviously no aircraft takes one or just two people. It's going to take over hundreds of people.
Exactly.
But when it comes to vehicles, if it's private, you've got just about 3-4 people. If it's the trucks, you've got just about 50 thereabouts. So when it's aviation, it just has the numbers, and that's why it tends to look unsafe. But I think overall, we don't have as many casualties in aviation as we do on the road, in ship.
And
you see, how you see,
but you see, the point is that every machine will have a problem at some point. It is about the maintenance culture, managing it, and having an emergency line to take. It's important that
this month there's a Nigerian professor, Professor Densimi, one of those good
guys. The Canadian professor.
Quite sad. And this morning, the BBC said that the pilot actually reported a technical problem when he took off.
Also, his black box.
And asked that he be made to return to.
But nobody listened to
it. It couldn't happen.
So those are the command center should answer some questions.
Well, Johnny, even when they're asked, even when they're asked to answer, people have lost lives, unfortunately.
Anyway, check out the front page. The Finder says 10-point business reform plan to remove bottlenecks in doing business. Dr. Bawumia says so. And effective communication of government policies, programs, vital. Chief of Staff. Dirty Christians turn Achimota Forest into garbage dump. The BNFT. ABSA Group 2018 earnings up. And check imports of foreign furniture manufacturers. Government moves to reclaim FAR category 1 status as GCAA amendment bill is passed by Parliament. There's one here that you should see. Okay, so this is an article, also in BNFT, Economic Messiahs and the Falling City. That's an interesting way to put it. I don't know. The Ghanaian Times. President applauds Richard Comey for winning IBF World title. CID investigates death threat against Manasseh Azuri. That's Sally from Asemogabi. He's been invited again. Is it Muntie 3 Part 2? 2 Chinese arrested for illegal lumbering, charcoal burning at Have. And DI Group rejects militia tag, says it's a registered limited liability company operating where? At a museum or a security facility. The Vanguard newspaper. We will make Ghana ungovernable. Yamin barks. Barking to who? NPA launches LPG recirculation, and I'm transforming Ghana's educational system. President Akufo-Addo. The Finder Sports. Clash of the heavyweights as Juve take on Atletico Madrid while Bayern face Liverpool. CAF Confederation Cup. It makes or break for Kotoko. No more trouble. Double bonus for national team coaches. That's what we hear. And I want to congratulate the Ministry of Information, the Chief of Staff, and the President. Indeed, the facelift that they're giving to the Ministry of Information Press, the conference center, is amazing. Kojo Oponkruma, good morning to you. Madam Frema Opare, good morning to you as well. I like it. I only hope that we're able to maintain it. And to my brothers and sisters who are journalists who go there every time, go and write your name, you write on the chairs and things. Stop it. Shame on you. Stop it. Don't go and be writing there. If you have plenty activator and curl out in your hair and you're going to rest your head on the chair, you must clean it. You don't go and make it dirty. It costs us money. If we see it, we'll put you on camera and put you on TV. Good morning to you.
I was here so.
You were here so.
Like SSJSS
Children who do that.
Oh God.
Press man, you go to a location and you find that they are writing their names all over the place. And what is that?
Let me also congratulate. Yesterday, I had to visit a gas station in Niboyman area, and they are implementing some of the changes that came with, the LPG issues. And I must say, they're doing. I think it's called Yokwa Gas. Congratulations to you, because they allow you to park outside. You're not allowed to come in, and then they, roll your cylinder.
But there'll be light off today in some parts of Accra.
Oh, really?
Yes, there'll be light off. That's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It's a long stretch.
Cantonments, Laboni, Supply State, UNDP Flats, Aliza Hotel Wangara, where at AU Village, North Osu Estate, Nafti Agbogba, Boshe, Ashoman Village, Ashoman Pure Water, Madina Zongo, and Madina Firestone, or Yibi down for all those places. Your lights will go off. But let's rant.
Between 10 and 5.
Yeah,
I think.
between
We're
10
ranting.
and 5.
We're ranting about the vice president bringing in a new term to urge the youth to stop vigilantism and look out for jobilantism. Whether they are supposed to create jobs for themselves or the government will create jobs for them is what we're yet to find out. Let's rant and take what you think.
Hello, good morning and welcome to today's edition of the Daily Rant. My name is Eric Yoje. Now, Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia over the weekend attended a program in Kumasi where he challenged youth of this country to be jobilantes instead of vigilantes. In effect, he wants the youth to demand jobs instead of allowing themselves to be used to visit mayhem on innocent Ghanaians.
Ghana had bibia or their politics. So be a bonus or a banner or an found to one kawai katemu opposition na fan or pair what can aswa. Tis a nangas or academa one or abem. When you one arrow no be a bona, 1 mile or a party mama, one can aswa. The man obisu humanas and so ya. What to watch can also mania waiting. I supported a banner at papa. Sisiano, Abana, you know why NDC MPP. And also NDC ni kwa yadia ontumi nka MPP ni kwa yadia ontumi nka isi ahwede isi AC water kwadia nda na wacha abofrade adecha na wacha abofrade ni ya so mpemfunu mu nim hu bi nti wo we a wonhwe bibi na wonfo na si fom so NDC na ba bibi a wonche MPP so na ba bibi a wonche awon pelefo betre radio do work at mass by the chain and one so for smase wo ne da wo gana da mebesen mo we adwumati amemete abafra nka de adwuma maxa ya da mako ebi so abafra and oboko nti won pelefo the way an we jina wakadama asemi owo mpelefu ya no to wanim na won yala owo mpelefu no nam no osese bibi wan ka papan ka ya krede nje won mpelefu no wonje da mad na wodo to mebunu wona adwunu no na mebu so wi wa adwun fi da mad ndo wonam ho da mad adwun ka botim no da payin baba fa maka da madi magiska nti de na wonyi da mad adwun fi mu na da mad na waye no onye fu na zifum na da mad ndo wontwa kwa wa gana na ba wanhwe ya abato ba abato na ba hwe be de the may what is abaya assembly no suban
Ghana man no ya nyina ya man nti say ye pain a wa Ghana ha na etumi de wona na esuo da wungu dam vigilante team na eye na adekwe ne yimbi sempain fo ne de wal kan wa no fanfa na wal kala sisi anu mayer tete won flamen employer akomatu ade yer Canada men de Ghana no yenim pain fo ma yenyi yenye gizi won no mu wasi wongu ade no ebokọ no na MPP mpemfo wo bi wo ho wontum ngun NDC mpemfo wo bi wo na sisi amowori ye Ghana no onye awon mpemfo no wade ahen youth na ya aba no na yerboa ma Ghana na ayede na akodo na sisi awol kada wungu tim no na MPP wo bi wo ho wontum wongu na oside na NDC obotum akada wade worugun amana no wade nimpa na wade chichir se inde tim bi so retie tim bi a ayan so timemfo na ye wo ha no ahen na ye bokọ ye hwe Liberia ye hwe Cote d'Ivoire ni osi wo ho sisi an yemfa no ntu yonfo sisi nda ne yakati utim nda ne yakati utim dem tim no na wie yibo wie den nti yebesra Ghana mpemfu de wonwu youth ye yerbe na youth ni so yen ye adwumanti na bitum disika dada yen sabi wo mari ye bia no so mu ye na no botum ayeden abo ma wo so ibi nka fisika dada ma akati utim bi
mpemfu sire yi wonu ase empia sa yi bi ndi taw pena tire na etum anya adwun wa da mad no da mad no wa na anya na tebe mu no ka no bo so wodine bi wo ma bo madunu gun baba na ebiso ma ka fa da madwun da ba bebu wetima ka che mpelefun da mad wunje na different parties so won so wa no gun na ebia ntum an ka fa da matutu asam no fa da mabato abato na ya ba abato no sa youth for ya ba no adwuma no so am say yanu abir nti say ye de ka ye yi wo me hwe ya wo fa bemda he na ma mo fa da me atutu asa no fa mba hye ya adwunum na wo fa sika da da he ne yankwa yanka na kira ahyan yungwan nka da pom na yamba womle nti say kakra ye pa akra yi wonja he na anya aksa yinzi nti say eje wona da say da me adna waye no anya wo party mpalefunu awo ejina le ka da masam hwe party no ba waye no wonja na ibisne da waye no obi wo da dam party wodi da mad no weje nti mo so me bia wachema mo ba kirem na che Ghana yan yan wato na waka asam na che wo ba obetin radio do ana wo kihye yemebun na waka da masem chempanfu na se wo che smase where the mother today na I the man say ahoyen say yan say any je say yakase dey and the masem yakan yinim da yakala you know ko be bia won panfu wo ba wul sade wo sade wi
Now so ye chai adwin ye what for fine one for fine what ka some tell them ko for bobo wo do na wo che smart na way ado onye nti say wo baka that the bad wunje na che smart go no wudi no so obi je ya obi madam ya mahia no do twa
nti pay no one ye committed to asem
yes we committed asem wo kan
da ma asem ye yer kan de youth no yan abrabo no hia ano osisi a worugu vigilante team no o yenyu birim na anya nyina yer ka de ma or kanu anu papa no botuma aba out there MPP ye need them team yi bio ye hu de papa no mo kan no le sisi anu onye te de wan ya adankoda kwakro da John inde wobaka bibia na wona namba wa ye hu sa ade na ego sa ade no nguyo ebokọ NDC mi ni bi wom sisi anu youth no ye wo fie yen ye adwuma no na oma mpayinfu no wada da hen nti sanyame adom adwuma reba sabi upayin bi nka baba dada de menka ti team bi na menka train na menka fight ma another politician bi sabi anu onfa na mba nko da wonka de medwuma nti mo so mo nko 2020 all ba yin
mo ka youth friendly e bia friendly for na I abaye ba botu payin bi baba dada wa da gidam sika kai da ma da ka cha na awoni ba enabusia ka fo busia na me meje amma makai amba bebeba anka baba ka ma mo ya na ababa family mo kam kai da mad otide no
asema ye papa ba omi aka ye no me fa ba bi no me ne ne nya adwen because ebe panyin no to wan kofra kra na so no so mba enti the best one say nya wadru kra se wo kwa kofra obi ela nipa na adwuna ye ntanta se obi a me kra me to me nya adwuma so ti ase nipa so peja na de ma na beti akatikanti ye wadwuma ho no ma se sa nipa ne de koye. Yes, I want to continue our friends NDC and MPP mu. It is one friendly pana. On the night obey because obi Bruno to na accommodate the old friend obeba. Eti ne wa duru se okra wo tiku no akwa friend no. O ka je se obi be from emba dia me ho me ne nya adwe. Em friend kra na nipa no na adwe so oba. Because friend na come de ne kwa dia onim so oba be no pesika ala wanya duane adi anu ti no oba. No ba no ka je so man adwuma ye bia ye ko to aba on ko bo ballot papers and bibi hu ban anu ti na nipa no ye de oba
na o se de sisi anu so wo ba ke de epedwuma wo mo adwuma na instead of de wo ba ka de ko na ka di bona na bibi dem
okay me ni se obi an ho asabe wo ti wo sisi e na obi aba se o masa yanko na koku obi mamia me ni se obi an ho be sore at the spot ni se o di akire obeka jo se adwuma se e beto abai almost say man for the make keep fit enu mo na de peke sa boys no etie bia ya to abai we wan winu aba power oja adwuma nye so ti ase enti wo frɛ no next time wo frɛ no say ombra obeba
abedin na ye police wo ben ye soldier for main na ti ubi sechi wa kala okatu ku front wo da abo party ana wo da wo mpani for da abo wo na da police soldier no wo men wo ngura na ti wo to da mu ku no da ngun na wo to da mu ku no sagana why ma sisa youthful why ma sisa yebo fu mpanifo no sagana mpanifo afo na nsi obema amele obedebi ahwe ya oboko be bia oye nyanwu abe ba pare ya kasa mpanifo no wunche ya asem ya ka no saba umia asem wa ka no de ofo na nsi fisiro na che party bia la wo da muku bia ngun da muku no so ngun da muku nda na no fa da muku na nchi ngun police adwuma na gina muku no me adwuma za what police what soldiers what na before is a bibi aha waduna police are na bi na kwa ka fan there oh bia de anya da muku na kwa ka fan ma okwala wokwa ya pam na ibi hwa asomesi wa ai wa so sayenfa wo ku bi ba we pre bi na papa ewa nje ai wadi ma adwuma as police ni the ba so okwala soldier ni okwala ko tutu oku bi se ba sana anam de yinimo abanche waka wonim mpanifra wo moska wodidi njika ka do mo no wokwala adaba wo ya do panin hu de ada asmo no anno ho dwo wakwakan dada no wokwala na uturo sika no na wo da wo mpere wo kun wa bia ebi mpo wo hwem na asam pante dam
yesra MPP mpanyimfo NDC mpanyimfo wanji anokuruntum na wonyeden wongu dan vigilante team bia wo Ghana na obobo ahịara na mama wonwe na wankote ho na panyin be na waga na ha obotum aka che ne bede ko na mketren wo damadi sabio anya na ye ni bi de bia na wofa hen wode yanko ema na onye panyin bia de oya anya nyina ayere de ebi na wa ode ne nkwa esi ho ama Ghana na anya yuti su ye hu de mpanyinfu bi bre na wa ba ye dam Ghana eduru dam na anya nso ye banyin no adwene foforo mba ye na yan country mo tibia no oye de yesra won won hu ye mobile na won gu team biara wo Ghana na Ghana nya asomdwe
semu ba ye won ne kana ani so se bia won ko gina cha unya opportunity na on fa ko kan se bia se bi obi so tie chi obedu hu ya o because ka we no nya se yengu na se the best way an say ye fa mlanto ho sa ne ma no kran ke en kontra parliament ka se ye pa ho committee ya se hu ska ka we bia no no an say authority aba ekuo bia wo political party mu bia no ye gu sa kuo no we simple as ABCD we ye ntia ye gu kuo bia ye gu na ma penyu kasa fana so ti aso bia tumi sole me kasa
mbro ho tie dem nyame halo onye de mbra fufu bi no de wo hye mbro ho a o state clearly that the man kofuni yan or ye illegal organization
say the institutions na kasa na week say institutions ni nya week an kasa de ye kan nyina seben ke megina han mo nka de ye kan sike be kan sem foforo e be mo man na kwanim ba de ne yatena ho no ma fitete da ni amma kwan amma sa politicals no omotete sa kuo no ewom ohun ye week ye police wo ho ye soldiers migration akoko ni bebre na je say ye pese ye che so mo maduma no mo ye no enso ani so ti ase so maduma so ani sebe o ma panyin ba ye si an bodyguard hwan le guide no aye police ni mi aka 6 match mi hwe bi police for na soldier for e na guide no e di se ye fa ho ana ye si akofa ni pa foforo a ni e pese ye kire say I just want my form as a police and soldiers. I two or more can sebi nyanse bia anim. Etu we ma panyin na kasa media ba o mi akogina ho a kan no. E fa ba bi no nyanse bia anim sa because gina ho na kan the place ade no ekuo bia ya gu no. We ye nkotete ho se sika bia o ba bia gu no. O ka fa na.
Well, these are the thoughts on the streets of Sekeni Takrade about Vice President call on the youth to be jobilantes and edulantists and not vigilantes. But my ranters this morning believe that leadership and their rhetorics are becoming one too many, that they should live by example. What do you think? You can go onto our various social media platforms and post your thoughts there. My name is Eric Yewoje, and this has been your daily rant from Takrade.
You're welcome back, and newspapers ready. BNFT talks about checking imports of foreign furniture. Furniture manufacturers complaining about import. It is killing their business. We also talk about aviation on the BNFT. Government moves to reclaim FAA Category 1 status. If you remember, a bill has been passed in Parliament to ensure aviation safety. The final this morning says 10-point business reform plan to remove bottlenecks in doing business. Dr. Baumia, the Vice President there, and the Chief of Staff is asking for effective communication of government policies, programs. She says it is vital. And that story from the Achimota Forest we talked about earlier, the place littered by people who go there to pray to God. The Vanguard, Truth and Integrity, it says, we will make Ghana ungovernable. Yamin backs. NPA launches LPG recirculation, and I am transforming Ghana's educational system. The president talking there. Those are the newspapers I have with me this morning. We'll talk more about the others. But my guest to do the talking this morning is a member of parliament for the Lejokuku constituency. He is a member of the NPP's communication team. Honorable Dr. Bernard Okobo is here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
And hope you're doing great.
By His grace.
And how's Lejokuku doing?
Yeah, so far so good. Let me say a very good morning to all your viewers. We are doing fine in Lejokuku. Finally, we've seen some action from the contractor on the Teshi Link, that's the Lekma Road. And all my constituents are excited. We're just praying and hoping that the momentum that is being gathered would be sustained and not wane with time. And I think it's the one single project that affects so many lives, you know, in the constituency. I've always insisted that the Lekma Road is not going to only serve constituents in Lejokuku.
And
those who live in Nungwa, people from Sakumono, Spinters, Bachona, all of them. In fact, 80% of the users of that road are not from Teshi. They just have to pass through.
They use Teshi
to other places. So it's a road that would really transform the transport of citizens and goods. And we thank His Excellency for his commitment. You know, it's one of the things that I've really worried him about. We've had chats at home, I've visited him and all that, and he always tells me, Doc, this road is so important, we are going to do it. And he's taught me a very big lesson that in government, or if you are a citizen, don't be tired.
You need to keep asking.
Exactly. And you have to be very persistent. You have to be patient at the same time. You have to juxtapose the two. Patience with persistence. And the end result is always a nice one. Yeah.
Grateful. We're still waiting for the rep from the NDC, Honorable Alhaji Suhini. He's a member of Parliament for Tamale North. We're waiting for him, but quickly, let me draw your attention to perhaps, not too sure if you've been following the settings of the Public Accounts Committee, but your outfit, Kolebu, is in the news again. And I'm sure Kolebu is always in the news for not very good news, but
recently
you've been in the news for good news.
Yes,
okay, all right. Yes. But I'm sure you've been following what's happening.
Yes.
Now, these issues about payments made to people, some not through the appropriate means, some suggesting that they don't deserve it, and the back and forth, if I don't deserve it, go to court. Is there a way to deal with these things?
You know, on a lighter note, before I come to this, let me say that I got here about 6:15, 6:20.
Right.
When I was in opposition, I worked very hard. And in government, we are working hard.
Okay.
So I expect the opposition to
be here early.
Yes. I know when it's demonstrations, they make the time, you know. So this is one of the most serious programs in the morning, and we have to attach that seriousness. So, Zuni, over to you.
I'll let Honorable Alhaji get the one tease here.
Yeah, and that's on a lighter note. I pray he gets here. You know, I believe that leadership is very important in transforming and restructuring organizations. And when His Excellency the President decided to be very gracious to me and made me the board chair, one of the things I told myself is to make sure that Kolebu becomes better than it was. Better in terms of service delivery, better in the way it handles conflicts, better in the way it even deals with legal matters and everything. And you'll be surprised to know that since going to Kolebu, we've had occasions where we could have behaved in a way that would have ended us in judgment deaths, like you are reading. Let me put on record that these judgment death issues coming were events that preceded my coming, or the new leadership over there, both the board and I think the chief executive.
The chief executive.
And I realized that sometimes in the past, there were some arbitrary actions that were taken without due diligence. And these are things that we can learn from. But I also have a sense that what was happening at the Attorney General's department, where there were instances where people came to approach government claiming judgment debt, and government was sort of soft in its approach, where it did not actually defend the state rigorously, and it was like it was a soft touch. It's like you approach government and you sort of get what you want without a lot of struggle. And there were instances where some of the monies paid were actually strictly not judgment debts. When I say strictly, it's not like there were arguments in court and the judge came to a conclusion that money should be paid. We had situations where settlements were made at the AG's office.
Right.
So you approach government that, look, my mother was killed 20 years ago. It was an unfair situation, and we go like, let's sit down and talk. And then we agree on $1 million. Go to a judge and tell the judge, look, this is a bad case. It's already settled. And the judge just stamps and says, go and pay. So
these are underhand dealings.
That's why I'm saying that we've had some
situations
of those.
Like that.
Exactly. Where when you look at the situation, we are not even, defending ourselves rigorously. And these were things that actually sort of were a cost or made the state bleed. Exactly. And since going there, we've been careful in our dealings. Look, we've had some new director appointments. When we decided to go the route of making sure that we get competent directors through a transparent manner, there were 2 directors who decided to sue myself, the board chair, and the whole board. I was calm. I stayed the process at Public Service Commission. And guess what? The courts took their time, went through the case, and threw away the writ and slapped charges against them. So now we've activated the process. Being patient is important, even in dealing with corporate matters. And let me say that since going to Kolebu, the last I remember one very classic case, someone wrote to us that their patient died, a relative died, and Kolebu had to pay some huge money.
And he's blaming Kolebu.
Exactly. And guess what I did? There were some senior people who were even convinced that we had to pay. So I called all the doctors that were involved.
Without proper investigation?
Exactly. I called the doctors that were involved, the team. And I'm like, tell me what happened. And you'll be amazed. These were doctors that went the extra mile to save this life, to the extent that the relatives of this patient came to the hospital to thank the medical team. And yet, somebody inside had leaked information and was going the path that we used to go. And look, I'm convinced that if I had not been the board chair or the leader, we would have entered some agreement and paid some monies. And I don't want to say, because I don't have evidence, that those who start these processes end up benefiting from the process.
Right.
You know, but the lesson here is simple. As a state, we have to be diligent in our dealings. And even when it comes to the West, where we are sued, we must be careful the kind of settlements we enter. You remember Martin Amidu? He said when he was AG, he told Martin Odro that don't be quick to settle matters. Assuming the West, let it go
the full hall
to the courts. And these are things. So, I mean, it's the lessons. You know, I don't take interest in blaming past regimes. But what is a fact is that the kind of leadership you have can either increase your liability or try to help you gain assets.
I'm grateful. Let's check what's on the Times this morning. We can continue our conversation whilst we wait for Honorable Alabi Suhini. If you take a look at page 17 of the Ghanaian Times this morning, it talks about the I Group rejecting the militia tag, says it is a registered limited liability company. Now, the story says that the I Group, the organization at the center of Joy News' latest undercover documentary, has rejected the militia tag, saying it is a registered limited liability company with the sole aim of aiding unemployed people to get jobs. We are never a militia group. We are not a militia group. We cannot be a militia group. Neither are we a vigilante group. We just want to help people get jobs and reduce the unemployment rate in the country. The company secretary, Ms. Tracy Asamoah, told the Times yesterday, she said the group currently has 5,000 members. They have been able to secure jobs for 2,000, and she gives a breakdown: 500 at the Forestry Commission, 600 in community policing, 400 in NAPCO, and she says others are in other sectors. She was reacting to that documentary. The story is well too known. Honorable Dr. Kruboy, the I Group says it is not a militia group.
You know, before I go on this, you know, today is the birthday of the First Lady.
Oh, yeah. We missed it. Yes.
You know, she's my mom. Yeah. You know, so I want to take this opportunity. In fact, since the opposition is not here, I dedicate the whole show to her. In the office, the whole show. And I really wish her very well. You know, if you are practicing politics in Africa, your wife plays a very key role. Because the dynamics in Africa is not like elsewhere. I'm telling you. So we thank her for all the support, and it is my prayer that their reign, like we say in scriptural terms in the Bible, their reign will be very, very successful, and the legacy they will leave will be very enduring. So, Mrs. Ekufado, this a special one to you. I'll be going to the office today. You know, there are many things. You know,
and happy birthday to all of us here at TV3. Certainly,
you know
we'll get in touch.
Look, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and I told him that in talking about vigilantism, my brother, and militia or whatever, there are two things involved. Either we want to solve the problem or want to score political points. Whoever is in opposition can score political points with this issue of vigilantism. But the problem will still be there. We can solve the problem if we will be honest as politicians. I practice politics. I'm still practicing. So what I'll say is that there's a history to these boys or guys who come together trying to take position and have tips when we are in government. The history is that most people who are not engaged or properly employed, you understand, they've created an industry where they work with politicians, serve them, assist them, help them with their security, and then when they come into power, they then use it as a leverage to get jobs to do.
They expect something.
Exactly. So there are individuals now who work at national security permanently, who got the opportunity to enter when a particular regime came into office.
Is it right?
No, I'm just telling you the history. I'm being candid.
No, but I'm asking, is it right?
You see, we'll talk to the rightness or not. But the issue is that, so there are people over the years who have succeeded in getting jobs because they worked and served politicians. You get what I'm saying? Good. I know individuals who immediately their party wins power, they take positions themselves. And sometimes it takes weeks and months for the party to sanitize the situation and either get them to enter jobs or put them at the right place. Most of these guys are unable to enter the army, unable to go into the police, but they enter national security. Why? The guidelines for entering the army and the police are stricter than entering national security. I get what I'm saying. So there's a latitude. Now, this exists on the books, my brother. So in the next 20 years, in the next 24 years, that's the minimum I'm envisaging. Should the NDC come into power, there is this latitude, there is this space for them to put individuals who are not properly cooked into the security. So how do we solve the problem? To solve the problem, let's put in the guidelines that make sure that just as you are not able to enter the army because you are with a party, you will not be able to enter the national security as well. But as it exists now, any government that comes through discretionary processes is able to put individuals into the national security. Majority of them are casual. Casual means that when the government exits, they go with the government. A few remnants are able to stay permanently. So there are individuals who got into national security during Rawlinson's time. And guess what? When Kufuor came, they became more or less redundant because of trust issues. I get what I'm saying. So, my brother, I'm telling you how we solve the problem. Now, the I group, I just gave you a short history. So, my take is that to solve this problem permanently, let's put in guidelines that makes it very strict for you to enter, so that you enter just like the army. No matter the government that comes, it is difficult to find a half-baked person in the army. If you check their background, they are qualified. Even if, assuming the West, a politician brought them or succeeded in bringing them, they are so qualified and they go through the means, unlike national security.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Are you suggesting that there are no guidelines for entering the national security?
The guidelines are not as strict as the army.
You're sure about
that? Come on. Look, let me tell you.
Is it not the politicians who want to bend the rules
I'm coming. Now, let me,
for their supporters?
It's not. You see, we are a country. That's if we want to solve the problem, let's put in, we can call them guidelines, legislation, measures, whatever it is. What I know from my experience is that since we started 92, the Fourth Republic, individuals have entered national security. You understand? They have succeeded to be part of national security. Individuals that
because the politician had bent the rules.
No, it's not bent. The latitude exists. Why don't they bend the rules in the army?
I can't walk to the national security.
No, don't you get what I'm saying?
I can't walk to the national
I'm not
security.
contesting you. Get my point.
But if I'm a member of a ruling party, I can.
See, let me tell you.
That's my argument.
I agree with you.
So it is the politician who is bending the rules.
Follow my argument. What I'm saying is that in national security, there are individuals who are very qualified. You know, there are individuals who are taken from other security organizations like army, fire services. Even there are people from GRE, the ports, customs, who work at national security. So they are fine, very qualified individuals with national security. But there is this latitude which makes it possible. When I say latitude, there is this space which makes it possible for governments to let individuals enter national security. Individuals that could in no way qualify to enter the army. I get what I'm saying?
I do.
So I agree with you that politicians are able to sponsor individuals to enter national security. I get the point.
It's wrong.
You see, it's wrong. It is a structural problem. When I say structural, it means it is because that space exists. It has been abused over the years. So to solve the problem, it's not about the opposition saying that they are creating a vigilante group or a state that is insecure, should they come into power, that space they would abuse again, because it's been abused over the years. So my call is that close that space. I know what I'm saying. Look, right, in the next 20 years, you would ask me about vigilantism if we should have another government in power. I'm telling you where the problem is. That there is a latitude that makes it possible for the incumbent government to allow some people to enter national security. Are you getting it? Close the space. How do you close it? I know people who have told me, Doc, I want to go into police. Listen, they've told me, Doc, we want to go into army. Those people have not succeeded. There is no way I'm able to help them because the entry criteria is so strict. Now, are you getting the point now? I'm being honest with you.
I am not.
Yes.
I am not getting it, because you see, for instance, you bring in the police service, and as we sit here, we know that district chief executives, members of parliament, party chairmen are getting people, some of them unqualified, into the police service, into the fire service, into immigration. This is happening.
Yeah. You know what?
So it's the same thing.
Let me tell you something.
It is a politician bending the rules.
Let me tell you something. We have to be honest most of the time if we want to solve our problems. Even if a DCE sort of helps a citizen to get into the police, there is no way that citizen can get into the police if they don't meet the criteria that has been established. I don't know whether I get the point.
I do.
Yeah, I'm coming. You have to. You see, this must be open and frank discussions. We have a criteria that you have to meet before you enter police. If you fail on any of them and you are disqualified, now they fail online. If you fail and it says that you are disqualified, no politician anywhere, no citizen can help you. Assuming you qualify, if you approach someone who is related to the government or maybe related to police, and be honest with you, sometimes they are able to help you to become a police officer. Now, this is the point I want to make. As a country, the systems we have to put in place and the independence that institutions must get so that people get into those institutions purely based on the process. We've not gotten there yet. Right, I get what I'm saying. And I believe and I know that we'll get there. You know, I talked to one policeman who's a good friend at the Teshi, Lejukuku, the municipal.
The Teshi municipal police.
You know what he told me? He said in those years, he told me how he got into the police. It was a fellow town person, someone in their village, who was a police officer, who came to their village and said, come, I want to help you guys get into the police. They did not have so much background CV, but because they were willing to serve, they were conscripted into the police. You know what? He admits that now, because of the application online, difficult. Exactly. So the point I'm making is that, right, as we grow as a country, as institutions become very independent, these things which I admit exist, they would go down.
They will go down.
Exactly.
And so how are you relating it to the I group?
You know what? Let me talk about the I group. First of all, as someone who is practicing politics, there are people who take advantage of the relationship they have with the government. That's when they were in opposition. My brother, to misbehave.
We supported you in your primaries, and so certainly.
Even in my own constituency, there are people who, because of their relationship with the party, they show signs of misdemeanor. They try to misbehave sometimes. And as a leader, I go the extra mile to put them in check. Because when they misbehave, because they are known to be associated with Dr. Koboy or the party, the negative reportage will come to me. Right, I get what I'm saying.
Right.
Now, this I group, their operation or history of having met and operated at the Christianborg Castle. My brother, right, it's unacceptable. It is a grave error that shouldn't have existed. But because I appreciate how politics is done in this country, I'm not surprised that somebody who was related to us managed to bring people there under the guise of giving them a job. Now, another revelation that national security was engaging them, trying to get them out, tells you that we knew them. And honestly, they were treated with kids' gloves because of their relationship with us. But you see, the leniency with which we dealt with them is bringing us all this, how do you call it, negative reportage. We have to quickly learn our lessons. Governments must make sure that they are very strict and firm in dealing with party people who try to create their own turf because of the relationship they have with us. Even in Lejokuku, sometimes you see somebody behaving like, look, I'm a security, when they have no locus. So, right, look, You remember those guys who tried to fight for President Atta Mills, may so rest in peace, in Cape Coast when they met before security. Those gentlemen were trying to, they behave like they love President Mills than anybody. When President Mills came, you think they were working unemployed. They got something to do. Unfortunately, I have said it, because we have a system where people sometimes don't trust the police. They work with individuals who they think protect them. When they come to power, they want to give them a space to operate. As we grow as a country, the police must assert itself so that security within political parties, they become more irrelevant.
How do we stop what you've just explained?
Yeah.
How do we stop it? And so people who find themselves associated with certain political parties, certain political figures, now that person is in power and that person is misbehaving. How do we stop?
I think the first point of call is to have very strict codes of conduct for those who start working with us, not in government, even in opposition. Codes of conduct. You know, most of these guys that politicians will work with, there's no guidelines dictating their behavior. So sometimes most of them are impulsive. Let me not say some of them are impulsive. Look, I've dealt with people who are very disciplined when I was in opposition. I still work with them. Very disciplined guys. They take serious instructions. They try to make sure that they assist you so that nobody harms you. Look, I know gentlemen too. In fact, one particular guy who is very disruptive. He's been working with us. In fact, he was active in the party before I joined. Very disruptive guy. Has the propensity to misbehave. And most of the time, I spend a lot of energy trying to bring him under control. This is obviously a guy who has a tendency to bring us into a negative light. So the point I make is that the first point is to have codes of conduct. The second point is to make it clear to them that the fact that you work with the political party does not mean that the state is indebted to you and give you a job. We must be clear on these things. And we must be honest in telling them that we'll do our best to find them job, not necessarily in government. If now I have one person who works with me in the constituency, not all the time. When I'm going around, I give him something every month. I put him on more or less a salary, about 500 a month. I mean, he's cool. Anytime I'm going to a place where I don't have to go alone, maybe in the evening and all that, I work with him. You get what I mean? These are ways we can tell them we will assist you. The 500 a month is better than nothing. He's not saying that, Doc, take me to national security. You get what I mean? Now, the second point of call, my brother, I don't want to say this country, we talk a lot and we are not real. But Bright, see, this is a country where the number one policeman must be appointed by the sitting president. This is a country where beyond major in the army, all other positions must go to Jubilee House to be vetted before you get, promotions. How can you be a country like that with such regulations and still come out and say that, why is the police not acting? So I've said it before, that the 1992 constitution might have had good intentions for security of the state, for making sure there is this connection between the executive and the security corpus. But Bright, as we grow, we must make sure that the police is independent. The IGP himself, the number one policeman, unconsciously, he's indebted to whoever sits as president. Why don't you have an arrangement where to become the IGP, there is an independent body. This body is a structural body set up by an act. You have, let's say, the Christian Council having a rep, Ghana Bar with a rep, GPRT with a rep, an unbiased independent group. That takes applications for policemen who think that they are fit to become IGPs.
They can lead the police service.
Right. If I've applied to become IGP and my power is not coming from a politician and I have a safe tenure of 4 or 5 years, if you misbehave as a politician on the road, I can get you and put you through the law. No fears. But we have a situation where even the constitution with soldiers, look, the chief of defense staff, who told you that
all of them,
it's not the soldiers who vote for him. So this is a country we speak a lot. Where are the lawyers? You, the journalists.
Who has to start changing that?
All of us. We have something referred to as stakeholders.
We have leadership.
Every organization has stakeholders.
Which of our leaders should kickstart the process?
Unfortunately for you, I want to study leadership. Leadership is a function of 3 factors.
Who has to start the process?
I'm coming. Leadership is a function of 3 factors. 1, the leader. 2, the followers, in this case the citizens. And 3, the situation, which is the condition in this country. All of us must be active. You can start. I can start. Anybody can start. The most important thing is that we must be active. Active means that we must speak like the way we've discussed this. The more we speak about this, the more politicians will be pushed to do something. The more lawyers will come up with proposals. The more the legislature, which I belong to, will look at possible legislation to handle these issues. The I group are being arrogant because of the history we had. And this time, we have to be strict and firm with them. And you know what puts me off mostly? They even were taking money from those they claimed they were going to help. If you want to help a citizen to get a job, do you go and operate at the Crystal Ball Council?
All right.
When
we come back,
let me end with this.
Okay.
The last time when I spoke about vigilantism, I ended with this same thing. President Kufuor has worked hard to bring on board some very powerful programs. The free SHS costs an average 1.5 billion Ghana cedis a year. This president has made sure that clearance has been given to over 53,000 health workers in 2 years. It's never happened before. But guess what? All these powerful achievements can be threatened, like they say, the little leaks that can sink the ship. By this, I don't want to use the word funny, by these guys who think that they work more than anybody when we're in opposition. We must deal with them in a very strict manner and make sure that we preserve the gains we've made.
I'm grateful. He's a member of parliament for the Lejokuku constituency, a member of the NPP. I'm still waiting for our Alhaji Suhini. Now, when we come back from the break, the NPP, we're told, has concluded talks with militia to halt vigilantism. And the NDC has responded to the president's letter to them. We will take a look at exactly what's in the NDC letter and how it goes as far as halting vigilantism is concerned. Stay there. We're back in a moment. Thanks so much for staying there. We're back on the show. Let me welcome a member of parliament for Tamale North, a member of the NDC's team, Honorable Alhaji Suhini. Good morning.
Good morning, boss.
And thanks for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
Let's continue with the NDC's letter to the president. In response to the president's response. Now, a quick read of what the president said here. It says that the president says, your request for mediators and facilitators of the dialogue, I am dismayed, and I believe that the Ghanaian people share my dismay, that the two parties which have dominated and continue to dominate the politics of the Fourth Republic, who between them have garnered at least 95% of the votes in each of the 7 general elections of the Fourth Republic, who are the only parties currently represented in the 7th Parliament of the Fourth Republic, cannot meet to dialogue on matters of our nation's governance and political culture without the intervention of outsiders, including foreign entities, no matter how well-meaning. So the president, not too happy about the NDC's request asking for a mediator. Honorable Suhini, we have done some talking before you joined us, but let's stay on the letter, the response from the NDC. Still, the party
They're asking for NDC as a mediator.
Exactly.
Who is that mediator?
The National Peace Council.
Yeah.
Is the party still insisting that there should be a mediator?
Well, let me say good morning to our viewers and good morning to my colleague, Dr. Chairman, and then also good morning to my constituents in Tamale North. A pleasure to be here once again. First of all, I think that it is clear that our president is more rhetorical than, action-oriented. Here is a man who has all the state's powers bestowed to him by the good people of this country as a result of the outcome of the 2016 general elections. Now, often we have said that our executive authority tend to have too much powers, and that is because of the kind of powers that is given the executive in the Constitution. So we need to first understand that this is a man who has so much power and does not even need to legislate as he is threatening to if these meetings are not feasible, but can simply employ the laws as they exist to deal with what everybody believes is a criminal act. So if we find people, whatever name you call them, engage in what is criminal, and we know what they often engage in is criminal, he as Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces have the powers, to deal with it. And so if he, ignores those powers because he has contributed so much to the situation as it pertains now and pretend to want a sort of a dialogue, the exchanges between him and the party chairman clearly expose him more. Because, I mean, why does he have an issue, for example, with a mediator? Why do we have ADR? When people have disagreements, or when people, yes, let's say when they have disagreements, and there's a need for them to use the ADR method, that's the
alternative dispute
resolution mechanism. Don't they have mediators? If mediators are not, you know, fathomable, if they are not reasonable, like he wants people to believe, then why do we have mediators? You are talking about two entities that disagree on how to resolve a problem. For example, our party even thinks that, like I have started with my submission, that he has the power to even deal with it in the first place. And so, if he's not dealing with it, and then we also think that he has contributed so much to the situation. So those are points of disagreements even from the word go. So what will the two of us achieve? Then the talk of including all other stakeholders, the president seemed to have a problem with it, as if he does not think that IPAC is necessary. Because he says that this is a matter that involves the two political parties. And so other political parties should not be involved. And I'm thinking, is that the kind of thinking or the level of appreciation that our president has? That is why everything seems to be running down in this country. You're talking about political vigilante groups as they have come to be known. You are not talking about, you know, something to do with Makola. You're talking about political vigilante groups. That poses a threat to all political parties, because all political parties take part in elections. In fact, at Ayawaso Wagon, it wasn't just the NDC and the NDPP that was contesting. So, I mean, if you have a president who thinks that in this matter, all other stakeholders in the process don't matter, you wonder, first of all, if he's really a Democrat. But maybe he is not. Because whatever we have today that is bringing about this discussion, he has contributed immensely to. Remember that when he was in opposition, he was first to threaten. When some, you know, rogues in Agbogboloshi attacked each other, instead of calling on the state to deal with the situation as a criminal matter, he addressed a press conference at which he said he will soon release militants on his side. Then he went further to, you know, after the Etiwa by-elections, to praise the militants, because eventually he released those militants. And so he praised them and gloated about how they meted out violence to Dr. Hanabisu and co. when he said, Etiwa Kraye Chiro Bibi Kakra. And concluded with the all die be die statement, which later we're told was to charge the militants to action. You know, so, and some of these people who are operating, like the revelation that we have had from Manasseh Azure, the gentleman in the center of the storm was his personal bodyguard. And I'm sure it's because of that association with the president that he had free access to the castle to operate the way he operated. So maybe really our president is not a Democrat. That is why he doesn't think that other stakeholders in the political process should be part of this discussion. Because if you look at the issues that are discussed at IPAC, some of the political parties that are involved in these discussions sometimes do not even make up to 0.1% when they go to the polls, but they are part of IPAC by the fact that they are registered political parties in this country. So if you are discussing something that is a threat to the politics of this country, to the democracy in general, all the stakeholders need to be included. And if you have such disagreements as noticed, even in the exchanges of the letters, it is the reason why you need an independent mediator. But then again, when you read the president's letter, you understand why education is in shambles. You understand why the economy is in tatters. You understand why the future of this country in terms of policy direction in almost every sector, it's difficult to comprehend. It's like the former president said, government as you go. They wake up in the morning, what is today's problem? Okay, let's brainstorm. Then an idea comes up. Let's do green track. Okay, let's privatize some schools. I mean, nothing really that has been well thought through, given a direction. And I see the thinking,
So the key thing is that without a mediator, the NPP and NDC cannot talk.
No, you're talking about a major disagreement. I mean, right, let me just give you an example. Can you imagine if you walked out of here and introduced the vigilante topic and for the two of us to discuss it on this set?
You're selling the
just fathom what is going to happen. And that's the NPP NDC for you. So yes, we can have a discussion.
But it won't get a conclusion
without
a mediator.
Exactly. That is why even on this show, you had a mediator. So it just makes, common sense that on an issue like this, if you really want a solution, you need an independent mediator, like the Christian Council, like the Peace Council, like somebody who really does not have a direct stake in the politics that has led to the creation of these groups. But then again, right, I have always said that we are where we are because of the lies that the MPP have told themselves over the years and believed it. So when you talk about vigilante groups, you hear them say the NDC has the Azoka Boys. And they have been saying so from 2004.
The NDC has Azoka Boys, or they don't?
They have been saying so from 2004. But really, I have said it on this platform before. Who are the Azoka Boys? Who really are they? Is it the same Azoka, a gentleman who is now our vice chairman, who, by virtue of how he lived in his community, his one community in Tamale, had people with him who went to, because of his support for the NDC, an internal NDC conference and attacked Bidzidin and Francis SM. And that's when the Azoka Boys was heard. Within an internal thing with his boys. Is it the same as Azoka Boys who they say they saw at some by-election with horse whips? But what are we talking about today? Based on that one lie about an NDC having Azoka Boys, they have moved from Kandahar to Bamba Boys to Invisible Forces to Bulldogs to Delta Forces, where they have armed them in some cases with weapons. That one lie of NDC having some so-called Azoka Boys terrorizing people. But you have never had a situation where anybody associated to Azoka is even arrested with a pistol or a gun. Never.
Okay.
But you have this lie that they have told the nation over the years, and based on that lie, have gone up on to create all these groups. Now we have the I included, threatening our security. And so it is important that we let them understand that they have a bigger stake in resolving this matter. It is based on a lie that they have told themselves over the years that they have created this problem for us as a nation. But we are willing to help them because the nation wants us to help them to resolve it. But they must come to the table with some level of commitment and honesty.
Right. All right, I'll come back to you. But Dr. Kobe, let's take some comments. I'll come back to you.
Very calm the whole time.
Yes. So let's take some comments and then I'll come back to you. And I'll get a chance for him to react. So Johnny is back.
Yeah. We'll start off from Tilapia. He says, well, the eye at Oga's backyard. Perhaps that's why the NDC is calling for a mediator. Tilapia is our cartoonist here. And that looks like the chairman of the NDC with folded arms. The president is by the table, is asking the NDC chairman to sit down. And right behind the walls, there's a dog. Is this an Alsatian dog? Well, it said, let's dialogue on disbandment of vigilante groups. And Manasseh Azuri there over the wall with a camera, he's filming. Okay, So now let's go to WhatsApp. I'm sure there are a lot of messages that you would like to read this morning. It says, good morning, Bright and the entire crew of TV3. To end vigilantism as proposed by the president, there must be a mediator between both political parties, NDC and MPP, to serve as a third party on the agreement. Also, the president should rather disband the national security completely to avoid goats wearing the coat of lions for peace to prevail. Ibrahim Akaka in Wale Wale. Musa Abattoir in Kumasi says, Manasseh Azuri Awini investigated Jida. Nobody attacked his person. Manasseh clustered gift of Ford as corruption, and at the time sitting president JM mourning his late mother. Nobody threatened him. Now President Akufo-Addo is the commander-in-chief of armed forces. Manasseh Azuri Awini exposed militias training under his nose. He's receiving countless threats of on his life. People can't speak against the many wrongs happening under President Akufo-Addo for fear of their lives. We have the opportunity to return Ghana to a true democracy come 2020. It says, anyway, why has President Akufo-Addo failed to agree with the inclusion of the civil society in the dialogue to disband militia groups? What at all does government want? The I group is operating illegally, and I'll urge government to deal decisively with them and stop contradicting itself. Government spokespersons, especially Kojo Nkrumah, day in, day out, is worsening the issue by trying to defend the operations of the I group when we know for a fact they are hoodlums of the ruling MPP. Nothing more, nothing less. Alhaji Willie P. Good morning. I and the Honourable MP say the Lekma Road has seen a facelift. May I know the kind he's referring to? I live there. Dr. Okoboy, where is the facelift? DJ O'Malley, why you're saying Goss, who says minority NDC sabotages every good thing MPP government is doing. They are nation wreckers and they don't want any good thing for us in the country. And also Vice President Bawumia has spoken well for vigilantes, so all political parties should listen in regards to Martin J. Kosa. The biggest problem Ghana has as a country is not the politician, but the so-called experts and the media. The minority should stop their egoisms and proud attitudes and sit with the MPP at a round table and find a perfect way to dialogue, dissolve and dismantle the vigilantism in the country, because we know that both MPP and NDC have vigilantes in their parties. President Akufo-Addo and his MPP are more than ready to let go their vigilante group. But what is preventing the NDC people to do the same? Yao Sankide in Taifa. Good morning, host. Ebenezer from Kwabena, that's his name, Welder Junction. We are not cowards like the MPP, and amounts of intimidation will stop us in criticizing them. We won't allow them to cow us at all. If they have people to invite, then they should invite Kennedy Japan. Mr. President Akufo-Addo, be ready for more criticism, because we have opened our eyes wide to expose every bad of your government. We are not keeping quiet today, nor the days ahead. Good morning, TV3. My name is KK David from the Northern Region. Please help me ask our Vice President to tell our President and his government to be a job-giving government so that the youth can be joblantes. We, the NAPCO trainees, are suffering because at post without allowance. So if anyone is in NAPCO and is giving the free chance to be part of the vigilantes group with benefit, wouldn't he or she take it? That's a question. Hello, my name good morning, TV3. My name is Amma from Cape Coast. Please, I'd like to ask the MPP party member when they're going to pay the double-track teachers. I mean, the teachers who were recruited last year in November. We have been working for 5 months now, and we haven't received a PESWA. How do we eat and work efficiently? And finally, good morning, Bright. I'm proud of Honorable Okoboy. He's an asset to the nation. I wish I was closer to him to learn more from him. He has made my day. May Allah bless him with long life and good health. Hassan, find him at Kolibu. He's also the board chairman there. Good morning, TV3. Mr. Bright, tell Honorable Okoboy to keep their super incompetent promise. 2018 was the same promise. Just 2 weeks ago, announced that the contractor coming on the following day. The contractor is still coming. Super incompetent people waiting for 2020. Niyama from Teshi CDR. Okoboy, what kind of facelift were you talking about?
I think maybe, I don't want to say you didn't listen well, but you said I mentioned that the contractor is gathering momentum. There's some work going on. I didn't say that the place has been transformed. Right.
Okay.
I started by saying that there are two things you can do with vigilantism as it is referred to in this country. Either you come to score political points like my brother has come to do this morning, or you help solve the problem. Look, he's talking about the executive having all the power, the president. That's what is referred, if you study leadership, as legitimate power. He's elected, given by law. But if legitimate power could have solved it, after Tripoli, after Tiwa, we shouldn't have had all those instances. Are you got what I'm saying? What it means is that this is a problem that has many facets, and that to solve it, you must engage a lot of people. You understand? Now, look, in this country, if you want to lead a country or an organization, you must have an idea of its history. We are a country that have gone through a lot of challenges with its vigilantism and election violence. In Tripoli, you understand, Professor Frimpong Boateng had to go and do surgery on an individual who had been shot openly. In fact, subsequently, the doctor that allowed Professor Frimpong Boateng to even use the facility was punished, was transferred. Why would we do this to ourselves? Because somebody assumes that when we are politicians, we are enemies. But that is not the case. So, Bright, my point is that if Suini, the NDC, asks for a mediator, it is not out of place. But what I expect them to do is to at least go to the table. And then when you sit to talk...
Without the mediator?
No, you don't get it. When you go to the table, it does not mean that automatically you are going to start the engagement. I hear what I'm saying. Sit, we are not enemies. Look, I don't want to mention the name. There was a leader here that was touted as very peaceful. He's a peacemaker. One of the biggest challenges I had with him as a practicing Christian is that he found it difficult to invite the then opposition leader to at least sit with him. Some of these things can be symbolic, but it sends a message that we are not enemies. The enemy is not Surini. The enemy is poverty. That's why we are here talking. We want to improve the lives of our people. You understand? Now, let me also make the point that in Etiwa and the rest, he said, the president said, you see the levels he took it. The president said, Etiwa, Echombe Kakra. Why would a leader say that we resisted them and show that we can resist them? See, what President Mama said. Listen, you see, what President Mama said, that we have revolutionary roots. You see the narration, and that boot for boot. I don't blame President Mama, a fine gentleman. It's because of this fear that the government normally has the security forces in their pocket. Those in opposition normally go like, we will not allow injustice to be done to us. I get what I'm saying. Right. You have a leader. He is your presidential candidate. He is making those comments. It's because the underlying problem has not been addressed. The independence of the security. Are you getting it? So until we address some of these structural problems, every opposition leader is likely to talk in a way that shows that my people must... Look, at a point, even people made reference to resist oppressors rule. Are you what I'm saying? When you are in opposition and you say it, the incumbent government goes like, look at him, he's violent. This was thrown at President Kufuor. But you see, JM said it. I will not be quick to say JM is violent. I appreciate where he's coming from. His fear is that he's no more in charge of the state security. I get what I'm saying. But if I were JM, President Kufuor, what he's trying to do, see, the short commission, let me conclude with this. When the short commission was established, leading people in their party said, oh, it's a ploy to cover up what happened. The hastiness. Later, what did they say? Oh, looking at their work, there are people who can be taken seriously. I hear what I'm saying. Why didn't this country, I'll not say a president, set up a commission to investigate or go to court to make sure the guy who shot the guy, individual at Tripoli, was... Do you know the one who made the shot? He was caught on video, he's still working free. This is not to defend the past, but this to tell you that there are genuine reasons why a government found it difficult to arrest somebody who shoots openly. It's all this because of this relationship with the party. With the people. So, Bright, to solve the problem and not to score a political point, this country must work harder at making sure that our security institutions are independent. That is the only way that if I go into opposition, I will not be compelled or forced to try to have people who will be closer to me to help me work. And he said everything is impacted because of the way the president talks. At least I thank God that this place is not noisy like it used to be in the past. Those days when I come here, your generator makes so much noise. I have to shout before people hear me. At least that is an indication that this president is working. Right. President Kufuor is ready. Let me conclude.
No, Dr. Okoboy, we cannot have a generator in the studio.
No, I didn't say this. No,
beyond that, your generator stopped working before they came to power.
Please. So, right, at least
generator stopped working before they came to power.
Those times you hear some noise. When you ask, they tell you it's coming from far, from your machines. Look, Bright, let me conclude.
Okay, we're wrapping up.
For a government, are you in your position?
Unfortunately.
Right. For a government to restore programs, which the previous government themselves said was very difficult, it means that this president, Ekufuor, President Kufuor and this government is working very hard.
Okay, I'm grateful. Adam Sude, just 30 seconds for you.
First of all, I think that I think that I should have started even my first submission by apologizing to viewers for my late arrival. It was due to circumstances beyond my control. But you see, there's something very interesting, right? And I want you and our viewers to take note of it. Anytime the NPP has its back against the wall, they go and do something against the nation, they speak patriotically. And they urge us all to discuss the issue patriotically and not parties and not based on party lines.
Patriotism is the best way to
and not based on party lines. Anytime they commit a crime, anytime they know that the position they have taken on a matter affects the nation, then they urge us all to be citizens, and we should discuss the issues, as patriots and not as partisan people.
I like Suhini.
What even in saying that they forget that they are party people, and they are party people, and they are going to
Tamale North.
We are not going to.
Dr. Okuboy is MP for Lejokuku.
But you see, that's why they will shift from it.
I'm grateful for your time with us.
I came early. At least I should.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time.
I think that
we're grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Because of time, I'm grateful. Stay with us. There's more coming up.
I'm back. Thank you for staying with us here on Newday. It's time for us to talk about a very important program that will be happening this week. We're talking about CCI France Ghana. That's Chamber for Commerce and Industries France Ghana. And they're going to be having a great gala night on Thursday. But I want to find out who they are, what they've been doing for the past 5 years in Ghana. Joining me in studio is Delphine Adeno Owusu. She's the Managing Director for CCI France Ghana. Good morning, Delphine.
Good morning.
So let's start off by finding out, when we talk about CCIFG, who are you? What do you live in Ghana to do?
Okay, so we are an association of members. Okay. So some companies here in Ghana, whether they are French, Ghanaian, or actually foreign, can actually join our association to network and make sure they can build new business strength in Ghana. Okay. Another important also aspect of our job is actually to make sure that Ghana is on the map for French company. It's very important because Ghana is surrounded by Francophone countries. So most of the time French companies tend to go to the Francophone neighbors. So I make sure we actually go to France often within our network, because CCI is a huge network also in France. And we organize Ghana Days. We introduce Ghana and the Ghanaian opportunity for businesses. So we try to bring more French company into Ghana.
Nice. Yes. You have been called the biggest bilateral chamber. For 5 years you have been in existence in Ghana. What does that mean for you?
It means that today we are the biggest bilateral chamber by number of members. Nice. Today we have 150 members here in Ghana. Wow. We organize a lot of events. We organize networking events 2 every month. Okay. And we really try to give them a platform for them to actually know each other and discover new people, new partnership, and making sure they can do business in between each other.
Okay, but I'm sure in being bilateral, I mean, sometimes there tends to be a bias where you may end up promoting more of what happens in France or the Francophone side more than the Ghanaian side. As a promoter, are you able to balance it equally so that you also project the Ghanaian network you so want to establish?
Exactly. We try as much as possible. A good example is actually when French companies are coming to Ghana, they're either looking for partnership or distributors or partners in Ghana to actually run their business. And usually we go to the Ghanaian businesses we have within the network. And we also try to, just as we are bringing French delegation to Ghana, we are trying to bring Ghanaian delegation to France. So we took one in last October at a huge event for France Africa businesses. So it was successful, but just as French have a little knowledge of Ghana, Ghanaians have little knowledge of France and what is representing in terms of business. So we are trying to really, make some information available for Ghanaians and French companies to have more links. And I think it's working. I mean, we've been doing great job for 5 years now. I mean, also being the biggest European bilateral chamber shows that what we are doing is actually working. We supported last year around 60 French companies who wanted to come to Ghana. So again, it's showing that we are trying to bridge that gap between France and Ghana.
Nice. Of course, even your name tells me that you yourself are exhibiting the bilaterality. Exactly. But let's go on to ask how people can join, this group.
So there's different package. We are an association, so there's like a membership fees. but once you pay the membership fee, so there's different package, everything is available on our website. And once the company is a member, they can attend to all our events for free. They get, it's a way also for them to advertise their business through our newsletters, through all the emails we are sending. And obviously also to get contact. Once you are part of an association, you are part of the family, so we share all the contact of the family. So it's also for them a way of prospecting new clients or getting new service provider. It's really important for us, and I personally make sure that I introduce people to the right people when they are looking for something.
Nice. So before we talk about the big nights, the gala night and awards night, let's start off with some of the programs you organize for people to be able to participate.
So we organize, just as I said before, we organize 2 events every month, so that's quite huge. We organize a simple, let's say, networking cocktail where, you know, we believe that making new business is not behind your computer today that you are doing it. You have to go outside, meet people, make sure you talk with them and understand what they need and what they want. So that's why we're offering this platform. So we organize networking cocktail, we organize conferences on certain thematics, so it can be agro, oil and gas. Soon we are going to organize one on CSR policies, how the companies actually want to, and why it's important for them to implement CSR policy. But we also organize business breakfasts on tax issues to give an update on what is going on tax, on budget, on HR. We are going to have a business breakfast on HR topic in April. So we are very active.
Indeed you are.
Yes.
But so tell us about the highlights of the gala night, which is happening on Thursday. Who are the people being nominated for the awards?
Yes, so the gala, so it's our 3rd edition for this gala night. So for us, it's very important because it's really the biggest event for CCI France Ghana. This year we are going to be around 400 people, so it's quite huge for a business event. It's going to be French way in the sense that we will have a 4-course meal, a lot of champagne, obviously, a lot of wine. We are still in the front side, and it's also a way for us to actually give awards to our members. It's very important for us to showcase what they do because they know what they do, but sometimes it's good also to advertise about what they do. So we have 4 categories. Companies had the opportunity to actually nominate themselves or nominate another company. So we have Best Project of the Year, Best Digital Project of the Year, Best CSR Policy of the Year, and Company of the Year. In each category, we have 4 final nominees that we announced a week ago, and obviously the winner will be announced during the gala night, so I will keep the suspense for now.
You certainly must keep that. But who forms the jury? Who decides who wins?
So this year, the jury, we were 5. So the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, myself, then the economic counselor of the French Embassy, and then we had the honor to have Edith Dancroix from the BNFT and Lucy Quist also. So we met, I think 2 weeks ago now, and we discussed with all the criteria and everything. We discussed, we voted, and this is how we came with the final list.
Nice. And so you'll be awarding 4 main categories, you said?
Exactly, one winner in each category. Exactly.
Very well. So finally, tell us how we can take advantage of these meetings you hold, and when it's coming up, how do people get to know about it?
We advertise to a wide number of people. We send our emails to a range of 5,000 people in Ghana. So, but again, everything is on our website. If anybody wants to receive our emails, it's just easy to send us a quick email, and so we add to the list. And again, what we do at CCI France Ghana, we offer a platform for people to meet and for people to build new business partnership. And again, whether you are a French company or whether you are a Ghanaian companies, is for us it's very important to mix. There's 70 French companies in Ghana. It's a good number for Francophone. It's good. But we know all each other, so it didn't make sense to make a group of French people. The idea was really to open it and really open to foreign companies, to Ghanaian companies, to really make sure this networking actually works and is really effective for our members.
Nice. So finally, the gala, where is it taking place? What time? How much are we paying to get there?
So the gala night is on Thursday at Movenpick Hotel from 7 o'clock sharp. It will be in presence of the second lady of Ghana, so it's very important for us. We are also bringing a magician from France. Of course, it's bilingual because everything is in English for us, so it's going to add a magic twist to the event. Nice. We are going to have 400 people, and if people are still interested in buying tickets, everything is on our website. We just have some few left because we are almost full, but there's some few left again. So yeah, on our website, everything is, all the information is there.
So Delphine, your final words. Where should we see CCI France Ghana in the next year?
In the next year, still as the biggest European bilateral chamber, of course, and just as we said earlier, also trying to bring more Ghanaian company to France and making sure there's more link in that side, because now with all the Ghana Days we've organized, French companies start to really know Ghana because I make sure I really talk about it every time I go to France. But now it's really trying to bring more Ghanaian to France also. And in that regard, we are actually going to organize the first edition of the French Week, which is going to be in November this year. Also to showcase what is France. France is not about just the Eiffel Tower and Chanel and
not
baguettes.
Just wine.
Or wine, exactly. So we really want to make sure that people actually see what France is about, and then we can try to bring a business delegation to France.
Very well. Let me say thank you to you, Delphine Adeno Owusu. She's the Managing Director for CCI France Ghana. She has been telling us about the Gala and Awards Night, which is happening on Thursday, 7 p.m. at Mövenpick Ambassador Hotel. Make sure you're there to wine and dine and also talk business with other counterparts. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more here on Newday.
Let's say happy birthday to you. Welcome back to Newday, by the way. Happy birthday to you, Benedict Adai Mensa Waxy, and deepest condolences to you. It's a birthday and you lost a very loved one, so mixed feelings there. Yvonne Fasca, it's your birthday as well. Happy birthday to you, and belated happy birthday to our own Mr. Achu Sliokwi here at TV3. It's your birthday. It was your birthday yesterday. We haven't forgotten about the party, Mr. Achu, so we'll come for it. But let's talk about an innovation that's set to change the lives of many entrepreneurs and businesses and cost development across Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. It started in 2015, and by last October, we had seen the launch of the second edition. It's traveled through, and we have the winners. But, of course, I'm sure you know that Total has been in Ghana for the past 60 years, out of the 80 years that they've been in Africa, with over 4,700 stakeholders who are purely Ghanaian. This morning, I've been joined by three ladies. Edna Kankam is a rep of the Startup Challenge by Total Ghana. She's a committee member, and she's also the comms manager. Winners, the three lovely ladies you see here, all of them interesting though. The grand winner, Eunice Chloe Bidigrain, and first runner-up, Naomi Boachi Yadom, We Share Growth Project, and Alice Amwako, Autism Aid Challenge. Ladies, good to have you. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Congratulations to the winners.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be winners? I'll start with you. Naomi, how does it feel to be winners?
Yes, so being a winner of the Total Startup of the Year Challenge, it's a great feeling because I run a social enterprise, and being affiliated to a credible organization like Total is a big mark for me as a social entrepreneur.
I see. Eunice, how does it feel?
Feels overwhelming, yes, with joy obviously, and the fact that more people would have positive impact, not just in terms of their jobs, but their lives and health altogether.
I see. Yes. And you?
It feels really great and exciting. I feel like my vision and the things that I aspire to do are coming into existence, and it's because Total is helping us with all these things. So I'm really excited about the project and everything we have to do. With We Shea, what we're doing is the women, so We Shea is a natural hair and skincare company, and our products are made out of shea butter, black soap, those natural ingredients. I am based in the U.S.
We'll talk about your products shortly.
Okay.
But let's talk to Edna Kankam. You are the comms manager. This is an amazing initiative.
Exactly.
What is the Startup Challenge for the first time as we're hearing it?
Well, the Startup Challenge is a very big project for Total. Is our CSR initiative that cuts across a lot of affiliates around the world. We launched it in 2015 by the Total Group. Initially, it covered only 55 countries, but because of the impacts that we were making, we decided to extend it to many more countries. So currently, this second edition covered 60 countries in Africa, in Europe, and in the Middle East. And that's one interesting thing about this project, because we're not only looking at Ghana, we are looking at Africa, as a continent. And following the success of the first edition, we decided to launch the second edition, which happened in October last year. And it's incredible because we had many applications. We had over 1,190 applications around Ghana. Exactly. And the applications we got were very interesting. This competition wasn't restrictive. It was open to any sector at all. So we got applications from health, from education, from renewable energy, from recycling, you know, from a whole lot of.
How was the selection done?
Well, we had two series of selection processes. So after selecting the top 100 from the lots of applications we had, we then slashed it down to the top 16. And this was done with the help of an independent organization called Spark News. They were actually contracted by the Total Group to do this on behalf of all participating countries. So this was fair, very fair, and very candid. Yes, exactly. So after slashing it down to the top 16, these top 16 finalists benefited from a 2-day residential session held at Labadi Beach. So they were very fortunate to have 18 coaches from different sectors, people who are very renowned, who are doing very well in their jobs. So we had someone like Tony Senina from Horseman Shoes. Right. We had Reswoda Dumakubonsu, who is also the board director of Total Petroleum Ghana. We had Petra from Lancaster University and George from University of Ghana Business School. There were a whole lot of them. Yeah, it was really good, and they can testify to how beneficial it was. And yeah, so
Eunice, I'll start with you on this one. You're the grand prize winner. Since October, when the second edition was launched, up to now, has it been easy? Was it tough? How has it been? I want to find out.
To be very honest, the application was very long and it required you to put in a lot because you were not really going for any interview. So from the application stage, it was more like you are hoping to really sail through because there were really, really good projects. After the voting phase, you'd get to know more about projects and realize like there's so much talent. Then we sailed through to the top 16 and the training was superb, very intensive, but it really helped us.
What did you present to make you the grand prize winner?
Okay, so I presented BD Green.
Okay, what is that?
So BD Green is smokeless charcoal, like smokeless briquettes made from crop waste. So what BD Green does is that it's supposed to solve the problem of deforestation. Most people log for charcoal production, but BD Green is using an alternative source of raw material to produce BD Green. That is charcoal.
Right.
Yes.
I see. Interesting. Alice, what about you?
So with my project, it's called the Autism Aid app. It's an Android application that seeks to promote social inclusion for kids with autism in Ghana. We all know that the Ghanaian society is really in a state of high stigma for these children and their families. So my team and I decided to bring up technology to help promote social inclusion for them. So the Autism Aid app actually provides a platform where people in the society, including you and I, can read more about autism and know best how to relate with the children. Also, we have a helpline on the app. And so it connects health professionals to families of these children across the country because we have less professionals and unfortunately all of them are in Accra here. We also have a platform on the app called the Picture Exchange Communication System. That helps children with autism to be able to use pictures and sign language to communicate with people around them. So basically to help create a safe environment for them. So that is what the Autism Aid app is.
That's what made you the second runner.
Yeah, actually the first of its kind in Africa.
Absolutely.
So,
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Let's talk to you, Naomi, now. You were telling me about Share Bata in Kuentus.
Okay, so with my project, what we're doing is we're setting up a production facility in the Upper East of Ghana, Bunga district. The town is called Atampintu. What I've noticed is that there are so many companies outside, especially in the United States, that source their ingredients here in Ghana, and then they take it back to their countries, they make products, and then bring it back to us for a very expensive amount of money. And then also, one of the things that are going on is that the women in the villages or the women that supply us with these ingredients are facing severe hunger. They can't take their kids to school, all these things, but these multi-billion industries are taking advantage of us. So I decided, I started Wishe my kitchen in the United States, and I decided, okay, it's time to grow. And what we need to do is, bring up a production facility here in Ghana so that we'll be able to employ the people where the ingredients are made. And not only are we doing that, but we're also providing training for them. It'll be financial management training. It'll be teenage pregnancy, and not only that, we're also taking care of their kids.
But these ones,
Yes.
they're from shea butter.
Yes.
Product
Everything-
from shea butter. I
so
see this is what, face cream?
Yes, that's
okay,
face cream.
Smoothens and saga.
Yes.
I see. Well, I'm amazed that you could use shea butter for these things, and
Yes.
it smells really great.
Thank you.
It smells
Thank you
really
very
great.
much.
Wow.
Thank
I see.
you very much.
So it's not the yellow thing that we're used to, but this has been
Yes,
improved. and
improved with other
global
oils.
standard.
Yes,
Global
exactly,
standard. Interesting.
exactly.
Edna, what prizes were at stake now?
Right.
Which is why the ladies had to go through all this trouble, apply, go through this, that,
Yes.
plenty things. What was at stake?
Yes. So we had a cash prize of up to 180,000 Ghana cedis for 3 of them. So the grand winner had 90,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
And the first runner-up actually had 54,000, and the second runner-up had 36,000 Ghana cedis. Aside from this, they also benefit from a year of coaching.
Okay.
So every month they can seek, the advice, the counsel of someone who is doing very well in the industry.
Right.
And we have a list of them. These are coaches and the member of the jury that we worked with during the startup project, who are also very eager to join them on their journey of the startup. So that is one of the things. And apart from that, they are getting visibility, not even limited to 1 year, even over that, because the first edition winners who won in 2016 are still benefiting from visibility, huge visibility that even extends to outside the shores of Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah, because we give them visibility in Ghana, in Africa, and outside Africa as well.
Interesting. Alice, so this money, what are you using it for? The money, the fame, and everything. Yours is an app.
Yes.
How do I get it?
So with the Autism Aid app, it's available online. So it's either you go on the Google Play Store or you go on our website, www.autismambassadors.org.gh.
You take your time and say
www.autismambassadors.org.gh, and you can have access to the app. So all you need is an Android phone for now. So with the money, it's going to help us extend or migrate the system to iOS so that people using iPhones can also benefit from it. Also, we are looking at scaling with our field works. So we are not only working in Accra here, we worked in the Volta region as well. So we are looking forward to scaling to the other parts of the regions in Ghana.
I see.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Naomi. What are you going to use the cash for?
Okay, so the first thing again is to set up the production facility in the Upper East of Ghana. And then the second thing too, we're going to go through some rebranding. I know this is too little for my customers in Ghana, and so I want to make it a bit bigger.
Yeah.
So they'll be getting the same thing they'll be getting a bigger container,
packaging.
yes, for the same price, because we're moving production to Ghana, so things are going to be cheaper.
Okay, I see. Interesting. Mayu, what are you going to use your cash for?
Okay, so with the cash, we want to scale up Be the Green production because we are a startup. We've been producing on a smaller scale, so we want to scale up and migrate women who are actually producing charcoal from firewood onto this new method of production.
I see.
Yes, and also to improve our afforestation mindset, we want to attach a tree planting project to it so that we are still contributing to the environment.
Interesting.
Yes.
A good friend of mine, Anna Dakwa, has been doing a lot of tree plants. Maybe I should connect you so you get back. Congratulations to you, ladies.
Thank you.
Where are the men? The men who were on the show.
We actually had, among the
became
from
a
the
women's
16
fellowship.
from the 16 finalists, we had 6 females.
By the way, they say what men
others
can do,
were
women
men,
can do better.
The
So
others were men and ladies. Exactly. They were just there. They made an impact during the pitch session. So that was what we were looking for. We were not looking at gender, but we were looking at the best. And there's one thing I forgot to add.
they're eloquent, they're beautiful, and they're smart. And I think that I acknowledge that.
And there's one thing I forgot. As part of the prize package, we had a top female, label, entrepreneur label, and it went to Yenis because as a female entrepreneur who also won the grand prize, she gets to have this label and also benefit from a week trip in Paris. So she'll be going next month to meet other entrepreneurs.
Oh, I can't speak.
I see. Yeah. Let's wrap up now, Edna. What are your closing thoughts from Total, Petroleum? That's your camera right there. Talk to Ghana.
Okay, all right. So I want to say that Total Petroleum Ghana, we have been in Ghana for over 60 years. So we find ourselves, very rooted here in this country. And our objective of bringing the Startup Park project is to meet the needs, the needs of the society. What are the needs? We know that people are looking for businesses. We know that there are challenges that need to be solved. Youth also need to be encouraged, and that's what we are also here to do. So apart from, selling petroleum products, solar products, working in the mines, and all that, we also are very passionate about investing in the community.
Most grateful.
So,
thank you very much. And so, you saw the winners of the second edition of the Total Startup Challenge. 3 lovely ladies there. It's been a pleasure having a chat with Kankam Edna. She's rep of the Startup Total Challenge Committee. She's a comms manager. Also, the grand winner, Eunice Chloe Pittigreen. And first runner-up, Naomi Abuachi Yadom, We Share Growth Project. And second runner-up, Alisa Mwako Otsimeda. Ladies, thank you very much for coming. And as all time will allow us this morning on TV3 New Day, my name is Johnny Hughes. On behalf of the rest of the team, know that if you can think it and your heart can believe it, only you can achieve it. See you tomorrow.